Hello, everybody. Here we are again. Viki and I are live. Welcome, Viki, to this live, and thank you for being willing to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me back, Lauren. It's always
Oh,
so great to be in your company.
I'm so proud of you because it takes a lot of guts to come live, and also very grateful that you are willing that I could share it on YouTube and on my website. It's a gutsy move. And today we're going to do a coaching session, and we never know where a coaching session is going to go because it all depends on what you decide to work with. So last week we spoke about burnout, and this is kind of part of our burnout breakthrough. So it might be nice to still keep it on that topic. But if you don't feel like you're really, really burning out right now, what is it that is going on? Let's just get an idea of what's actually happening in your life right now that you're grappling with, like something, what keeps you up at night at the moment?
Getting crystal clear on my own path of doing things my way. I guess that's getting me a little bit overwhelmed as I tend to overthink it. And I tend to try different things and methodologies and strategies that other people share, only to find out that they're not speaking to my soul, to my heart, and to the way that I want to show up in the world. But then it's becoming really exhausting, blazing your own trail. That's hard.
Okay, so if I'm just going to go completely off off script here. I'm not going to start off with the PQ questions because I still want to delve a little bit deeper into what is happening there. So, blazing your own trail. So, what would that look like for you ideally? What is blazing your own trail for you?
Think it's talking about my work and how it benefits women in a way that feels truly aligned with my values. And as you know, I come from with 20 years of background in marketing, and the way that we used to do things there are not the way that I feel called to as a way to show up in my work and what I'm doing right now. So I think that's the main thing that I'm battling right now.
So, I know you've started building your YouTube channel, and I know you've started doing a lot of podcasting, going on other people's podcasts. So, does that feel aligned? That feels like an aligned strategy for you.
Yes, yeah. I think just being able to summon the courage and show up in front of other people's audiences to talk about something that's, it doesn't have an analog, something to compare it with. It helps a lot with clarifying my own message and crafting my wording and the way I present it in a way that rings a bell for people and makes them recognize themselves in the problem that we're solving.
Yes.
Yeah, so showing up on other people's shows and podcasts does feel good. It does get me excited. And I always love to meet new people and just to talk to them about what they do and what I do.
That's awesome. So you're actually loving that. So that does light you up, and
Yes.
that doesn't feel exhausting. Does it feel exhausting or doesn't it to do that?
No, no.
Okay. So that could be the entire strategy then. If you're comfortable with that strategy, what is making you still look at other strategies?
I guess it's my desire, wanting to build my own thing. So it's one thing to be a guest on someone else's podcast, but it's an entirely different way of not only expanding your reach, but also claiming your work and your space. So that's
Okay.
what I think I need to tap more into. Claiming my space, my own
Yeah.
space. Yeah, I think that came out well.
Yes, that came out perfectly. Okay, so let's get into the actual unbundling the part that's exhausting you. So let's go into that side of it. And then we'll come back to what really does light you up. So let's start with the negative, if you want to call it that. So what are all of the negative feelings you are experiencing about the situation, about the trying all the different methodologies and not finding the one that is how you're going to trailblaze? So what are all the negative feelings that you experience?
It mostly shows up as draining my energy and my mental capacity, just trying to figure out how other people do it and trying to replicate that only. And I don't even get to that point, where I actually start to implement it. There is a step at which I feel this won't work for me, so I step away. But the whole investigation process is taking up time for me. It's taking up mental energy, focus. And instead, I feel that I could use this time and this energy to build my own thing instead of, keep getting distracted.
Okay, now that you just said that, which saboteurs do you think might be causing this? Because we've just discussed, just before we came into the session, we discussed your top 3 saboteurs. So which of those saboteurs do you think is at play right now?
Could it be the avoider?
That's what came to my mind.
I avoid what's important to substitute with what's looks urgent and more promising, like
Yes.
tiny object.
Okay, good. So it's the avoider saboteur getting in there. I agree with you. That's why I said I didn't want to answer it. Rather, you find your own answers. So let's see, how could this particular problem that you're dealing with be converted into a gift and opportunity? Because that's always the sage perspective, that any problem you have can be converted into a gift and opportunity. So let's start with the gift of knowledge. What is this teaching you? This whole process that you're going through, what are you learning?
What's not working for me?
What's not working for you? Okay, yeah, perfect.
But it keeps giving me more information. And maybe at some point I will need it. Maybe at some point I will find a place to use this information. Right now, it just feels like it's filling up my space, my internal space, but it's okay. There's a lot of it. I think that's something I like to do, like a squirrel gathering nuts for the winter, and then it would put it in different places, even forget about some of that. But it's like that. I'm gathering pieces of information in different types of methods and strategies because you never know which one might turn out to be a good strategy to try at a specific point in time on your journey. So yeah, I think that's what I'm learning. So that's what it is teaching me.
Fantastic. Okay, so you are getting a gift out of it, even though it is exhausting. And one other thing came to mind to me that might be useful is it might actually be useful for the clients that you're serving because you're teaching them how to make money, right? Or teaching them to become money goddesses, not just how to make money, but how to invest money, how to be in that energy of money. And being one of your money goddesses in your program, that is a lesson that you can teach us, that you've looked at these things. It's also something that you can go on and teach to the very people that you serve. Because what if we go down all those rabbit holes? If you've gone down all those rabbit holes for us, you can say to us, look, this doesn't feel aligned with you. I can see that's not where your heart is. I don't know if that's coming across properly, but can you hear what I'm saying? That kind of experience could be helpful. It's like you then become the expert in the room in that subject too. There are so many rabbit holes you can go down. There are so many scams online. There are so many ways you could make money. But these ways I found don't feel good.
Yeah,
And
that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And I hadn't thought about it this way, that even though it might be draining my energy and focus and attention, the gifts of learning that I can then pass on to others, that's a very good perspective to keep.
great, great. Oh, I'm glad that
You.
was helpful. So let's go now to the sage power of empathize. But before we do that, I want to light up your empathy circuitry in the brain. So to do that, we're going to do a few PQ reps. So this helps you light up that empathy circuitry. Okay, so sitting straight, you've done a few of these with me before, so you know what they feel like. Sitting up straight, back leaning against the chair if you like, feet on the floor. I just want you to wiggle your toes and see if you can notice every single toe. Just getting clear on each toe and feeling the weight of your feet on the floor. And now feeling the weight of your seat on the chair. And noticing your back resting on the back of the chair. Just feeling where your body touches the chair. And taking a few deeper breaths than usual. And noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest or belly as you breathe in and out. See if you can notice the sound of your own breathing. And now listening for the furthest sound away that you can hear. And taking your fingertips, placing them on your forehead, and slowly running your fingertips down your face, slowly, slowly, till you feel the eyebrows. Notice what they feel like. Just noticing all the sensations of touch on your eyelids now, on your eyelashes, slowly moving down the face, maybe feeling the bridge of the nose as well, noticing all the sensations of touch as you move down. Placing your hands below the nose and notice the temperature of air as it goes in the nose and the temperature of air as it goes out the nose as you breathe in and out. And then coming down onto the lips, onto the chin, and down the neck, slowly to the heart. When you get to the heart, just place a little bit of pressure on the heart area and see if you can feel the vibration of your heartbeat. And as you come back into the room, eyes open, you can just have a look at something in front of you and notice all of the colors, the texture, the light, the shadow, and possibly notice something you've never seen before. Okay, and now your eyes can go back to a soft diffuse glow as we come back. Great. So now that your empathy circuitry has been lit up with a few PQ reps, what would be the most loving and compassionate thing you could say to yourself in this situation that you find yourself in right now?
You've got it. And it's all coming out easily.
Beautiful. I love that. And if there's anyone else involved in your particular situation, there isn't necessarily anyone involved, but if there has been someone, maybe someone that's burned you in the past through these techniques that you're discovering, or someone you feel has particularly wasted your time, how does it feel to be in their shoes in this situation? So just now, taking some of that empathy and shining it out onto those very people that are wasting your time with their methodologies.
It feels like they do really want to teach me something. They believe that it will be beneficial for me. And yeah, I can take advantage of what they have already done and save me time.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, so you can see a different side of them that you hadn't seen before. Wonderful. So, without blame or judgment, what are all the relevant factors that might be contributing to this problem, this avoider saboteur of yours that comes up and makes you go and do all the things except doing what you know is actually going to move the needle forward for you?
Can you give me some examples?
Okay. So, relevant factors that might be contributing to the problem. You think you don't know what you know already. I mean, you've been in marketing. You probably do know exactly what to do, but there is a part of you that maybe thinks that you don't actually know. So, we're just exploring it. I want you to be like a fascinated anthropologist in this section. So, just get really, really curious. So, that's when I say without blame or judgment. You're just getting curious. What could the reasons be that you would avoid by going and looking at all different other routes? Because some of them, of course, may be valid. And some of them may be the avoider saboteur. So actually you just avoiding because it's easier to just go and play and learn something new because it's fun. So some of it might be that. But what about if it is actually because you could learn something new? What about, yeah, let's look at all the relevant factors. So let's see what's coming to you.
So one of the things that comes up really easily is that FOMO effect, that fear of missing out on something that could potentially work very, very well for me. That's very, very strong. And I see that a lot of people and entrepreneurs and business owners who are building their own thing, you just want to try this and try that just to make sure not missing on a strategy or a tactic that could work very well. So this is one thing. Yeah, the other thing is, what if this shiny object does really have the potential to help me and be something that I can use in my toolbox?
Mhm.
It's curiosity,
Mhm.
to learn something new.
Mhm.
Especially with marketing, it's ever evolving. It doesn't matter how many years you've been in it, there's just always something new to learn. And I love learning. I just love learning. I love reading and taking courses and programs and figuring things out to make them work. I guess it's, yeah, kind of part of my own self-development journey, because everything new that I can get my hands on, I know it's going to elevate me as a whole, not only in personal development field, but also in business and relationships, in all different areas of life. So that's why I just keep adding information on and keep taking notes. I think that's like a lifelong journey for me. I don't think that's ever gonna change.
There we go. So maybe it is lighting you up more than you realize.
Mhm.
Maybe the exhaustion is coming from when it doesn't work. When you get to that part where you think this isn't going to work for me because I don't like that aspect.
Mm.
But you are lit up by the initial, oh, I can learn something here.
Yeah.
So maybe if there was a way to just see that each training that you do or each thing that you look into, that you're going to get something. There's going to be a golden nugget that you get out of it, whether you implement it or whether you don't implement it. There could be something great that comes that, like you say, a light bulb moment that happens with
Yeah.
each person that has their own technique. And it also could be just learning that that isn't the way you want to go, is your light bulb moment.
Mm.
You know, that kind of, oh, this doesn't resonate. And remembering that you are getting in touch with your intuition every time. I mean, how beautiful is that? To notice, to catch yourself that your intuition is there.
Yeah.
You know, wow, that's amazing when you catch, wow, oh, I just caught myself again, and this is not going to work for me. That's beautiful that you can say that, because you could have gone down the track and then thought, oh my word, what have I done? I've just destroyed all my contacts and connections because I followed this really bad advice.
Yeah, I love, when I spot something interesting that catches my attention, I would devote a lot of time and energy to explore it in more depth. For example, if there's a new podcast, well, not new, if I find something that I like listening to, I will go all in. I will consume everything that the podcast host has to offer, and there's always something to learn. Even if I don't implement it, I just enjoy the process of being introduced to new ideas, to new perspectives from people who are doing things differently. And I
Mhm.
love learning from them. I think the disappointment comes from at the moment when I realize just how much time I have wasted on that instead of working on finding my own way, because I only
Okay.
have 24 hours in a day. And if I spend it learning everybody else's way, there's
Yes.
just not enough for me to spend on, my thing.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Oh, you're getting so much, because that's going to really help you figure out what to do now or how to go about fixing this. So let's first get into navigate, the power of navigate. Wait, no, we haven't even done innovate yet, the yes and game. The yes and game is so much fun. Okay, so now we're going to throw out some ideas. We're going to play with some ideas of how you can fix this. Okay, so how you can go about this so that it doesn't drain you anymore, so that you stay at that excited, happy phase. What lights you up? I love learning. I also love building my coaching business, and I also love building my program. So you've got those two sides. So let's throw out the first idea. What would change this? And then the way the game works is, I'm going to say what I like about that idea is, and then I'll say that, and then I'll add something else. But it can be crazy ideas. We're going to brainstorm like total crazy ideas. Okay. So the problem is that you're avoiding by going in and wasting all these hours, right? That's the problem.
Mhm.
So what's your first solution that comes to mind?
Setting boundaries and putting things on the calendar.
Okay, great. That's funny enough was the very first. What I love about that idea is I had the exact same idea. If you could just schedule the time to build your business and then the time to go and do the learning, then you'll have the best of both worlds. And what I'd love to add to that is, so just do the business building first.
Mhm.
So start with that so that you don't get that horrible feeling. And then if the business building takes all day,
Yeah, I can go all in that, and then not enough time for the learning part.
that's okay, right? Because then you will at least done what you wanted to really get done. Yeah. So
Well,
that was really simple. Yeah.
you
Anything
know
else?
what comes up? Even if I have done it before, the thing is, I need to learn to stick to what's on my calendar, because I would see it in the calendar. I will start working, but then something will distract me, and I'll say, okay, I'll get back to it later. And then the whole schedule for the day gets mixed up. So I need to teach myself tactics on how to stick to the schedule that you have built.
Yes. So, okay. So let's throw out some ideas on how to not get distracted. So the shiny object at that moment looks more exciting, right, than sticking to the calendar. So how can you make sticking to the calendar more exciting? Maybe you can create a little reward system. Like, for example, one of the reward systems in positive intelligence is the moment you do one thing. So you go to your calendar and you see, okay, it says I must do this today. The moment you just get started, just get started. So you, whatever that thing was, the first step, you celebrate it like crazy. And then you get a dopamine hit, right? So you put on your favorite song, you dance around the lounge, and you go nuts. Okay, like really nuts. You want to celebrate like as if you just won $1 million, right? That's how you want to celebrate. Because it's not enough to just go like, oh yeah, I did that. Go me. That's not enough. You want to really get a dopamine hit here. So you want to go like, yes, I did it, woohoo! And you can start jumping around, and you can just go a little bit crazy. How do you like that idea?
I like that. I just want to make sure the door is locked and
I often do it in the shower. I often do it in the lounge. I'll put on some music and I start dancing. If I go down to make myself a cup of coffee, I'll just stick on my Get Happy playlist and play a song and dance a bit. Or if I've got to put a few dishes in the dishwasher, whatever, take a moment just to really celebrate that you did that thing. Because the more you can celebrate what you're doing right, the things that actually move your business forward, which is what you're wanting, the more you will feel that is more important to you than the other distractions.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Getting more out of it than simply the satisfaction of having it done. It actually fills my body with the energy, and you said the dopamine, to make it appreciate even more and value even more what I'm building. Yep. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that a lot.
Cool. You can anchor it. And actually, a gift to yourself doesn't have to be that kind of celebration. It could be a walk, go for a walk outside, or anything that, if you write yourself a list of all the things that light you up, you could just pick one off the list. Make myself a cup of fantastic tea, or have a piece of chocolate, or whatever it is. Find little rewards, or go for a coffee with a friend, whatever it is that will make a difference for you. Yeah, as long as it doesn't distract you too much, again, because here we're talking about not avoiding and not distracting. So ideally it should be something quite quick. But that just really makes you want to do that again and again and again and again until that thing, you doing the boring stuff of building the business, because some of it is boring and repetitive and it shows up like looking like work. Sometimes that stuff is hard to do because it's just same old, and it's almost too easy for you. It's not a challenge enough for you. Oh, and that's the other thing you can do. Make it a challenge. How could you make that thing that you're doing more of a challenge? Because one of the things you said you love about the new stuff, the shiny stuff, is that it's new, different, there's something grabbing you there that isn't there before, right? There's something that you can learn from it. So you take that task that you were going to do and ask yourself the question, or ask ChatGPT or something, how could I do this differently that would make it even better than the last one? How could I grow by 1% today in this particular task? How does that feel?
That feels interesting. That's intriguing, because it makes my brain now start to work. How can you make this different and more exciting and more challenging? So yeah, it does stir immediately the creative mind.
Right, because I think challenging gives you the dopamine hits. You like that. You like to be challenged.
Yes.
Right. So if the task seems too simple and too boring, make it more challenging. That sounds silly. Don't make it simple. Make it harder. Because if you make it harder, it will, first of all, you're going to go up a level every time you make it that little bit harder. It doesn't have to be way harder. It doesn't have to be exhausting. Like, again, it doesn't have to totally drain you. But you just want to have it that little bit harder, that it makes you feel like you have challenged yourself.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, good. So try that one as well. Anything else that we could do that would just beat that avoidance behavior?
I don't know, maybe just make it a habit.
Yeah.
Just putting in some rituals or something that gets me in the flow of doing.
Wow, that's great. That's a brilliant idea. So something before, just to get you in the flow. So like those PQ reps that we do.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to start. And I love your idea of making it a habit, because how about this? How people do really, really well when they get given a challenge, like a 30-day challenge or something. So we know that it takes 21 days to make a habit. So what if you just said to yourself, I'm just going to do it for these 21 days and let's see what happens. So you give yourself, like you say, okay, I've got those things on the calendar. I'm putting them on the calendar for myself to do. How about I make it just for 21 days? And then I'll see how I've moved forward in 21 days.
Yeah.
And then you've set yourself a challenge. And then at the end of that challenge, you give yourself a mega prize. You decide what that treat is going to be. Like, oh, wow, I make 21 days of this. I'm going to give myself whatever.
Okay. Yeah. The bigger the reward, the more effort and diligence I'll put into it.
Great. Have a nice juicy carrot there. And then the habit is formed. And again, you're getting a big dopamine hit for the fact that you created a habit. And maybe you could say, maybe the reward could be, I take the next 7 days off. So you've got 21 days a month that you're working now, and the next week is your off week where all you do is go and play. Give yourself time off for good behavior. As business owners, we deserve it. We deserve time off for good behavior.
I like that. I like the idea of doing something consistently enough so that it becomes just second nature. And yeah, with the reward, it's just anchoring and it's solidifying the habit that you are building. So it just stays with you for a longer period of time.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then when you do take time off, when you allow yourself some time off, that's when you can go play with all the shiny objects. Either time off in your day, so you either work it within your day or you work it at the end of your challenge. That's when you put all those things. I find often when I put things aside, things that grab me that I was about to like hit play, let's go, I'm going to try this, I'm going to start this. If I just put them aside for a while, a week later or 2 weeks later, I'm not that intrigued by it because I haven't just watched the ad that gives you the FOMO. I mean, those ads are very well designed to give you that FOMO.
If you just spend, a minute, 5 minutes just to let that huge appeal just calm down, then you can really process it more clearly and in a more focused way, and then decide, is this something that I want to tap into right away, or it can wait?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Brilliant. I love that. So I think we did well with the yes and game. So let's talk about navigate now. So this is the sage power. We're going to play a game called flash forward. So imagine that you are whatever age you would love to be, 100 or whatever, however old you would love to get to. Imagine you are seeking the guidance of your wiser elder self. It's the end of your life. You are well in body, mind, and soul. And you're looking back at this time now. What would she say is the most important thing in this situation?
Particularly with this challenge?
With this challenge. Yeah.
Oh, okay, with this. Don't stress out that much. Life is a play.
There we go. So it's all good,
It's
right?
not important.
There we go. Perfect. I love that. I love your wiser older self. She sounds like a keeper. She sounds gorgeous.
That she's got that sage developed and ripe in her.
Great. So is she telling you to stop beating yourself up about this?
Uh, no, it's more like, don't get too serious about it. It's just have fun. Just have more fun in the process.
I love that. I love that. Good. So whatever lights you up, right?
Yeah.
So let's come up with 3 things that you are willing to commit to after this session. So are there 3 things that you want to do, but remembering that they're all going to be fun because your wiser elder self said, make sure it's all fun.
Okay, I'm going to treat myself after each small win.
Great.
And maybe some of these treats could be listening to different podcasts to learn something from another person, so I can combine the two. What else? I really want to say blocking time off on my calendar. It may not sound that playful and fun for someone, but for me, it's a challenge, and I love challenges, or challenges are fun for me. So that will be my fun challenge, to really block the times, do the to-do list, because I don't usually deal with to-do lists. But this could be a new interesting thing for me to try out. And just seeing, marking things as done. I think that also gives dopamine hit. So
Definitely does.
yeah.
So you're
I'm
going
not
to
sure
write it
they're
to
not really big things that will take me days and weeks to do, but just small little actions, like 5 a day. And if I've done these, then yeah, I'll play and I'll celebrate.
Wonderful. So for the strategy that you actually do, so now we're going to get back into the very beginning of what you were talking about. So you have your own strategy. So are you very clear on what is required on a daily basis? What activities are required for your own strategy to work? So you're now going to trailblaze and build your own strategy. Do you know what's required to do that?
I have the overarching idea, like the concept, and I know the goal, but very vague on what that looks like on a daily basis, as tasks to do or things to check off. But that's one thing that I've been avoiding to
Mm-hmm.
do, like sit
Mm-hmm.
down and clarify it step by step and what it
Yeah.
translates into, in terms of daily actions.
So that would be literally the perfect thing to do in our next session together, is to sit down and clarify your step by step so that you know what you're putting on your calendar and you know that each step that you're going to take is actually going to move the needle in your business, because now you're moving into activate mode.
Mm.
So that is such a powerful power when you start moving into activate. You start doing the little things, and then it's a lot easier if you actually know what it is that you have to do every day. If you
Yeah.
have a little schedule of, I have to contact so many people, I have to get onto so many podcasts, where you actually can't know how many podcasts you can land up on, but you could know how many reach outs you need to
Mm.
do. And eventually you'll start to know how many reach outs you need to do that will land you on how many podcasts. For example, if podcasting is going to be your strategy, and also if you're putting together your own community and your own program, you know exactly what to do there, what's required next. I need to do this lesson next. I need to have this workbook done next. And you can set targets and times and things for those as well. But the promoting is a little more complex because you've got to decide. I think the easy part is actually putting together the program, right? Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah. It's a lot of working parts in terms of the marketing because you don't know how it's going to be received. It's just a lot of trial and error, really, until you find your perfect groove.
Mm. Yeah.
But if you decide, for example, that YouTube is your strategy, you need to decide how many YouTube videos am I putting up per week or per month. Maybe start with one a week, just so that you know that is starting to move in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
As you've done a lesson, you could create a YouTube video that sells that lesson in a sense, or that just has one little kernel from that lesson in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all works together, part and parcel.
Repurposing what you're creating for one platform or another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you can promote in the way that feels really good to you, where you are it's just you. That's what you said at the beginning, just you putting out there what really means something to you and to your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you've got it.
Yeah, that part is really exciting because I love to put my head down and strategize and have clarity around what it is that I need to do.
Mhm.
Because the how, then it's just easy once you know what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that portion. Even back in the marketing days, that was my favorite part. I will be given a goal. I will know what we want to achieve. I will write the strategy and then the translation of, okay, how to get that strategy, get us to where we want to go. The translation to the daily task, weekly and KPIs, that was one of the things I loved about my job.
That's
Now
amazing
I'm
because
gonna transfer it over to here.
exactly. That's fantastic. So you've got it. You've got the entire answer for yourself. It was there all along.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it was just the distractions that kept me away from doing it.
But they did help you know what you were aligned with and what you weren't aligned with, which was
Yeah.
lovely. I mean, each time that you notice that you are following your own intuitive nudgings, is you knowing that you are the goddess of your business. It's beautiful that you're following those intuitive nudges. So, yeah, I
So,
think you've absolutely nailed it. It was an amazing session. Thank you,
yeah.
Ben. Yeah, and I hope that helps. So if you want to do a clarity session together, that could be another nice session to do. But also, if you're happy to do it on your own because that's your forte, go for it.
I can try
Yeah.
doing it because now that we've come to it, I just can't wait. So I'll probably give it a go. And maybe next time when we speak, I can tell you how far I've come and we
Yeah.
can talk about that or another aspect of this journey and tuning into the sage rather
Brilliant.
than the avoider.
Yeah, I think you're doing great. I've seen your course. Your course is fantastic, and you are rolling out the content as you go. It's brilliant.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks so much.
And we'll do an EFT session next week.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah. Do you know EFT tapping?
I've
Hey.
heard about it, but I
Great.
haven't done it on me.
Oh, oh, brilliant. So that's next week's fun and games.
Fun, fun. Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was absolutely great. I love this session. Thank you so much. So
I'm so
much,
glad.
insight and uh-huh. So I knew this. I just need to apply this and that. Thank you.
Brilliant. I'll send you just a breakdown of what we said as well, if it helps you, because that's what I normally do with a client, just so that you can see exactly what we discussed. And yeah, I love that you got those aha moments, and I hope that it really moves you forward and you have a lot of fun.
Yes. And I'll go get myself a little piece of chocolate now.
Yay! Do that. I'm gonna go dance around the lounge.
Whatever
Awesome.
lights you up, right?
Exactly, exactly. So thank you again for your time. It was really special. So thank you everyone who was able to watch this and everyone who watches the replay. I appreciate you being here. And if you want to have a session like this, I am running a special. If you want to have a session where you work through your own burnout and whatever's going on, normally I charge $147 a session, and today I'm offering a burnout breakthrough session for $100 a session. So let me know if you want to book. I will send you the link and we will set up a time. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everyone. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
Viki. You're a star. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.